Well, it's another day. Coming along pretty good. Got the flare put on. I'm totally winging it on how the sluice is going to react to that little submersible pump for water flow, but worst case I'll put some 1-inch spray bars and hook the 1.5-inch pump up to it and be able to run it just at a slow dead idle. Flare turned out good. Bent this all in one piece, cut the bottom section out, and then welded it along the outside and ground everything smooth. So had to mess around with the fit up a little bit to get it onto the end of the sluice. I was deciding how to mount it. I had to play with it and hold it so much, I decided that I would just go ahead and rivet it. I was gonna have it removable with a couple bolts, and I figured it's too hard to get the fit up nice on it and less parts, so just kind of hard mount it onto the first section of the sluice. I was gonna weld it, and then I figured just more chances of blowing through and trying to keep it looking a little bit more clean and not so many holes in it and whatnot. Yeah, I'll do the next section of the sluice and then pretty much down to the frame and riffles. Looking pretty good. Just got the flare put on and the extension. Looks pretty good. I'm really happy how it turned out. Looks pretty neat to have a flare on it. Hopefully the little pump has enough to make everything work good. I think it'll be alright though with the aggressive riffles up in the top and then a flare smooth section of expanded metal. And worst case, maybe later on down the road we'll get some hog matting for it. Get the aggressive stuff up top and the smooth turbulent free stuff down below. I'll start working on the stand next. Got both frames built. I just tacked on the pockets for the legs just in case I gotta level them out or it doesn't look good before I weld them fully out. Got all the little handles put on, the screws, and I was working on the legs and I cut the angle of the steel wrong. I should have cut it at a 22.5. I'm gonna come up with a little tiny 2.5-inch stub. Then it'll be at a 45 for a little bit and then straight up just to widen out the base of it. And I cut it at a 45, which that doesn't work. So I got 5 feet of square tube left. So when I get my truck back and my tools, I'll get those 12 pieces cut, and then I'll have to grab another probably 5 or 10 feet of square tube just to finish off the legs. Another day done. I got the legs all built, frame welded out, and the riffles for the top section more or less finished off. I got to find some way I got to just grind the back a little bit so it's a little bit looser fit going in, and then figure out some pieces to weld on there so I can jam it tight into the back and then pull the front down. And I was kind of thinking like a carriage bolt or something just on this one riffle to seal it down to the miner's moss. So tomorrow I'll probably try and get that finished off, get some miner's moss up in the top section, build a little piece for the dampening mat, and then I got some expanded metal that I'll build another frame for this flared out piece. It'll be a full section that I'll input into that flared section, and I'll tuck the expanded metal up underneath this first riffle here so the water will deflect up and over it a bit. It's coming along good. It's just about down to disassembly time and paint. And here's the other section of the extension legs that once I paint it, I'll rivet it in place. Came across one problem when I riveted this flare section on. I put the rivets right where the bottom of the frame is gonna go. So right there, I'm gonna have to drill just a little hole for the rivet to sit in. Minor detail. And then I'll take the grizzly bars. I'm gonna just bore that one hole out a bit so I can crowd it over, straighten them out a little bit. And then it'll be down to the wash bars. I think I'll have to do 1.25 inches probably ABS, or else I can get some PVC with a cheap tee that I can thread in. It's not too many choices for 1-inch fittings. Another day done. I got the miner's moss cut, all the riffles put in. I got the whole thing disassembled, ready for paint. Built some little frames on the top here that I found. A bunch of these little latches here that I'll put on the side for a quick attach system. I was gonna drill holes and carriage bolt it down, but figured these might just be a little bit faster to work with. The Hungarian riffles fit really good. Really nice tight fit between the miner's moss and the riffles. And I reused my old expanded metal riffles from my other highbanker, and those ones never ever did fit good. There was always a little bit of a hump in the middle. So I got a nice tight fit up until right here. So the first foot's a nice tight fit, and then right to here, this is all good. But this area here, I can just about stick my finger right underneath of it. So I'm hoping that there might get some dirt that plugs up in there and seal it up a bit, and as long as they work half decent, should catch something. That piece of green miner's moss is really bugging my OCD. I wish I had enough blue stuff to finish her off, but oh well, staying cheap. Yeah, paint her up and put her together.